back to getting back to your wedding or your wedding weekend. You've got folks over at your house. You're having a party, and you said you and Mr. Sievers were somewhere else in the house.
Yes, in the
Where were
bedroom.
you?
In the bedroom. My bedroom specifically. Or
Just
our.
the two of you?
Yes.
And did Mr. Sievers tell you what he wanted to talk to you about?
Yes.
What did he tell you? What did he tell you he wanted to know?
Well, he wanted to tell me that he and Teresa were having problems, that Teresa was having an affair, and that talked about some financial problems they were having as well. Told me that he thought that they may have to file bankruptcy, and I get my impression is that he didn't really have anybody else he could talk to. So,
What was his demeanor like as he was telling you about these problems he was having at home? How did he appear?
Objection, Your Honor. Outside the scope of any conspiracy.
Overruled.
How did he appear as he was telling you about his problems at home?
sincere. I mean, he was not his normal upbeat self.
So, when your friend of so many years was telling you that he was having these problems at home, did you believe what he was telling you?
Yes.
What else did he tell you during that meeting between the two of you in the bedroom at your home?
Besides the problems that they were having, he told me that Mark likes to use the hypothetical situations when he wants to say something without.
Your Honor.
Overruled.
So he brought up a
Let
hypothetical.
me stop and ask the question. Ask a question again so we can. So let me back up. I think the question I was asking was, what was it, Mr. Sievers, after he told you he was having problems at home? What else did he ask you for? What else did he tell you?
He told me that he used the hypothetical situation as a way to bring it up, but he said that if a hypothetical situation existed where someone's children were going to be taken away and that they were in danger, that if I knew somebody that could help him.
So just to be clear, he asked you hypothetically if there was somebody whose children were going to be taken away. Did you, Mr. Wright, know somebody who could help him?
Yes.
Help him how?
He didn't say specifically, but my take on it was, maybe go rough this guy up or something. Run him off.
And did he actually ask you to rough up anybody?
He just said take care of it or help him. So our conversation got interrupted right about that point, so it wasn't a full conversation.
So at that conversation, he gave you this hypothetical situation, but he didn't yet ask you to do something.
Right, not directly.
And how did you said your conversation got interrupted. How did it get interrupted?
People were wondering where we went because we disappeared, and so they started knocking on the door looking for us, and so we went back out and joined the party.
And so when you say people started wondering where you went, it was all of your guests that were there at your party that night
Yes.
or that day.
Yeah, this all happened during like an afternoon and went into the evening.
So was that the last time you talked to Mr. Sievers about whatever his problems might have been at home,
No.
hypothetically?
No.
Was there another discussion?
Yes.
When?
The next morning, when we all were at the park getting ready, Mark and I ended up had some time alone again. I think we were actually getting dressed or something, but
Where did you get dressed?
there's like a building there at the park. I think the restrooms are in that building, but it's also got some other stuff in it. It wasn't just a bathroom. But we were getting dressed, or getting ready, and he brought it back up again.
So, on the day of your wedding, while you're getting ready for your wedding, Mr. Sievers wanted to talk to you again about whatever his problems were.
Yes, prior to the ceremony. Right.
And if I could ask Madam Clerk to assist me, please, with State's Exhibit numbers 74A through E.
You can approach.
Thank you.
And then I had F, but there's no E.
That's what I want. Mr. Wright, did you hire was there somebody taking pictures at your wedding festivities?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been previously entered into evidence as Exhibit 74A. You recognize that?
Yes.
What is it?
That's a picture of, I think, the exact situation I was just talking about.
That's the two of you getting dressed at your wedding?
Yeah, unless it's one of us looking in a mirror.
Two of you look pretty close. The two of you look, I'm not going to say look alike, but you look very similar in that picture.
Yes.
It almost does look like a mirror, doesn't it? Which one is you and which one is Mr. Sievers?
I think I'm the one on the right.
Okay, so the one with his tie getting tied is you?
Yes.
And so the one tying your tie is Mark Sievers?
Yes. Is that a striped tie around my neck?
Yeah, it looks like a striped tie there.
Yeah, that's me
Actually,
then.
I can show you the picture a little
No,
closer
that's
so you can
it.
see.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you with the tie on?
Yes. We were dressed identical except for the tie. That's
Now, you said there were some folks at your wedding. Can you see who these two people are? Can you see them? I can zoom it in for you.
yes.
Who are these two people?
That's Jimmy Rogers and Taylor Schumacher.
And this picture is also taken at your wedding?
Yeah, it looks like that's taken at the park.
Thank you. All right, so you're in that little room in the park getting dressed for your wedding, and Mr. Sievers wants to talk to you again. What did he tell you?
That morning, I don't know if I made that clear or not, but the night before when we talked, he told me that she was having an affair, but he didn't actually tell me she was leaving him. So that next morning when the conversation continued, it went more into depth. He actually told me that she was leaving him for another doctor, I think is what he said there. Who he was.
Did he tell you a name?
I don't know. I don't remember if he did.
Did you know who he was talking about? Who this person was that she was supposedly having an affair with?
No. I think he said that it was somebody that she met at a conference or something.
And was he still speaking hypothetically about something happening?
No.
What did he? What else did he tell you while speaking at the park? Specifically at the park.
Well, he told me that she was basically that the decision had been made that they were going to split up, and that she was taking the kids and leaving state with them.
And you mentioned earlier Josie and Carmi. So Mr. Sievers was telling you that Dr. Sievers was going to leave him and take his daughters.
Yes.
When he told you this, did you believe him?
Yeah, Mark doesn't joke around about things like that. Especially not with his girls.
What else did you discuss with him during this particular discussion at the park, if anything?
I think there was some like options thrown out there, a couple things. Some of I get, because it was one conversation, sometimes I get mixed up on the details between part A and part B, but same conversation, and it's all true. But I had mentioned that, about fighting her for custody, legally fighting her. He said he didn't have the finances to do that. That there's no way that he could keep the girls from their mother. In there somewhere, he also mentioned counseling, and he said, I think he said they had already done counseling, or they had already talked about it.
Okay, so that sounds like some reasonable advice from a friend. Do counseling or have a fight for custody of your children. That sounds reasonable.
I thought so.
Did Mr. Sievers agree to take your advice?
Well, he said he couldn't fight her financially, and that the counseling didn't work out.
And what else did he tell you while at the park?
He told me that not only was she taking them, but they were going to be in danger. That without him there to protect them. There was multiple times that we discussed danger that they were in, but he never told me specifically what it was. But I know Mark, and when Mark says something like that, he's serious.
So Mr. Sievers gave you the impression when you say they were going to be in danger.
I'm sorry.
Was it the daughters, Josie and Carmi, or was it Josie, Carmi, and Dr. Sievers?
No, just the girls, the children.
Did he ask you to do anything during this discussion at the park?
It seems like he asked me again about if I knew somebody that might be able to help him out with it. Again, the discussion got interrupted right about that point, so it didn't wrap up on a finished note.
Oh, what kind of did he tell you? Was he asking for help getting marriage counseling? Was he asking for help getting legal representation for a custody battle? What kind of help was he asking? Did he ask for the name of a lawyer? What was he asking for?
He was asking for somebody to pay this guy a visit.
The guy who Dr. Sievers was
Having the affair with.
supposedly having an affair with.
Yes.
And I'm guessing it wouldn't have been a friendly visit.
No.
All right, so at some point did the discussion in the room in the men's room or whatever this room was where you and Mr. Sievers were, did that discussion end?
Yeah, because it got interrupted again.
I'm guessing at this point now, since the two of you are apparently getting dressed, there were wedding associated activities about to begin.
Yeah, it was getting close. The chairs were there and things were getting set up. The organization part of trying to make it all happen, because we got married in the gazebo, so that had to be decorated and things. We had a lot of chairs. There was a lot of people there. So they
Well, let me stop you and ask you,